Hello, welcome back. Now, as you can see from the label here, today I am doing a video using Antoniomakes kit. The kit is called Shabby Romance. This is not part of the kit, this is the kit, but I just thought it was ironic that I just agreed with him that I would use this kit to do a project. And then, hey presto, the Friday freebie was from the same kit. So I quickly jumped onto the Facebook group and snagged a copy of these whale tails because A, I don't have a whale tail punch, and B, they are not actually in the main kit. Or if they are, I missed them. So anyway. So we've got the whale tails, there's a little like file folder pocket there, and there's like a tag with a shaped top. Now I haven't printed out the whole kit and I've done some odd things with it because I wanted to have some real fun with this one. So these main pages, there are 10 of, and they're absolutely beautiful. They're all sort of light summer type colours. There's birds and flowers, all things that are romance really. So we've got that one, we've got this one, which I think is lovely. You know, you've got these old books with some flowers and some negative images, some old paperwork. We've got this one, which is obviously a centre page, isn't it? Because you can't lose it, you've got to make that the centre of a journal. It's almost just put a frame on it and put it on the wall. And then this one, again, pinks, yellows, all light summery type colours. But I love that he's paired that with this very dark black. I did consider breaking out the black laces for this, but I thought it might be a bit ominous. And this beautiful large rose and some French sort of receipt with the butterflies on and butterflies in a jar. The old washed out wood. Postal cards and envelopes. Some more roses. I love this wooden tape measure that runs all the way through it. And then again you see you've got the birds. We've got this sort of Harlequin wallpaper. More roses. And again the wooden tape measure. And then here, beautiful bird cage. I think this is like an iris, isn't it, here? Ticket, postcard, and the wooden ruler again. And then this one really appealed to me. I'm not sure if it's the bike against the fence or the bulldog clip, but really, really liked that page. Unfortunately, I've got lines on it, so I'm going to have to reprint it. And these are just the other coffee dyed papers that I'm intending to use with what I'm going to make. So there's 10 of those background pages. I only showed you 9, I know, because the 10th one I've chosen to print onto fabric. So there you go. I printed it on fabric. And we've got this like beautiful photograph of some flowers, some old papers, again the wooden tape measure, and then we've got sort of chicken wire and a birthday card and some music. So I've printed that on fabric and I'll explain to you why in a minute. You also get a few pages of these big pages shrunk down into the postcard sizes. So I just printed one of those sheets, that favourite one there, look, on to fabric again. This is just old bed sheet. And I also printed one of the, I think it's 4 pages these, because there's 17 pages in the kit altogether. So there must be 3 of these postcards, 4 of the tags and 10 of the backgrounds. And I printed some of these tags onto fabric as well. Just because I wanted to speak to you about this. I don't know if you've done this before. I have shown it on my channel before. But if you've come across new because of the Antoniomakes, you may not have seen it. So basically, you need a A4 sticker. So it's a whole sheet like this. And it's just one sticker. Now I'm saying that, but I don't think this one is a sticker. I think this is just a sheet of paper. but it's a whole sticker in the centre, okay? And just peel it and put it down onto some plain cotton fabric. Make sure there's no creases or anything, and then trim it round. You must make sure that the fabric is exactly A4 or marginally smaller to make sure you don't get any cotton threads stuck into your printer. And then once it's printed, all you need to do is pull the paper label away, and this is what I've already done with those other two. So if you just sort of rough up the corner a bit like you would a napkin, and then find that corner piece of paper, then you can start to peel the whole thing off. So just get under there you go, and then you'll find a little air bubbles usually somewhere there. Okay, a little bit there I've missed, that's it. And then when you've got the whole thing, just come right across the top like that, okay, and then you can lay it down and just pull the whole thing away, and the sticky label goes in the bin, and then you have got your beautiful printed fabric that you can obviously now sew in any normal way. So I'm going to cut out all these fabric tags, probably add them to more fabric and then to card. We'll see as we go along, because there's going to be more than one video in the making of this journal, I can assure you. So there's a beautiful kit. I will obviously put a link for it below, but what I want to do first is look at making the cover. So I'm going to use the first fabric page that I showed you, this one, that's got the flowers and the birthday cards on it. So I'm going to use that one, and then I'm going to use a piece of fabric from my stash, which I think generally will work with the colours that are in the kit. Okay, so we've got this from the kit, and then we've got some stash fabric, and I'm going to make the whole journal. Look, anyone else go to that designer shop called Primani? I'm going to use this paper bag. Just 1 second. Sorry, that was the postman bringing printer ink. We can't not have that, can we? Right, so I'm just obviously going to open up the bottom. I'm sure you've seen people use a paper bag to make a journal cover before. And the only reason I'm doing this is so that I can get it completely flat. This bag is huge. I could probably get 2 journal covers out of this. So I know that this is very roughly an A4. So obviously I don't want all that torn edge. I'm going to come, at the end of the day, the bag was free. I don't need to worry about not being particularly careful of how much I use. So I'm going to come straight down this seam where the base was, and I'm tearing all of the layers together, she says, and then she loses one. Okay, I know some of it's off screen. It's a giant bag and there's not a lot I can do about it really. I've already scaled you down a few levels. Right, now I'm going to poke the sides out because I don't need the gusset. I'm going to create my own spine, aren't I? And just get it completely flat. Right, now I know this is marginally smaller than A4, but the important thing is this is the biggest piece of fabric that I can use because that's what I've got in this size. So I want to line that up like, excuse me. Now I don't think this fabric's been cut square, which obviously doesn't help. But if we know that we're coming down on that L, basically, helps when you've got a printed bag. So coming all the way down. Okay, get rid of that bit. We can use that another day for something else. Bring my fabric back. Now I'm going to hang off the binding edge because obviously I don't want that on my cover. It's okay as a wrap round, but I don't want it on my cover. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across the top of that writing. That will give me a straight-ish line. I presume Primani have printed straight. Might not have done. The way some of the clothes are sewn, but anyway, there's another subject. Right, I've done it twice, you know, double covered deliberately, because now I'm going to turn it in on itself to make sure I lose that print, and by having 2 layers it's a bit thicker. Not worried about this missing bit here, no problem at all. So first jobs first is I'm just going to use glue stick because I will be sewing. And use glue stick all the way around the edge, big cross in the middle, and then the other cross. It's almost a Union Jack, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't exist anymore, does it, the Union Jack? Right, there we go. So that now gives me double paper stuck together, nice and easy, no problem at all. Now I'm going to fold it in half. I just want to see where I am. Now, we know this is definitely an A4, and that's going to fit in there with gap all around. That suits me, no problem at all. But we also, obviously, are going to want a spine. But because this is going to be a soft journal with fabric covering, I obviously am not too worried about a stiff spine. It will be a flexi spine. Right, first job. Let's get this fabric on here like that. Look at that. Oh, it's slightly off. So it is shabby, but that doesn't mean it can be a mess. To me, there's a big difference between shabby and a mess. Now, because I'm going to stitch, again, I'm going to use glue stick. If you weren't going to stitch, then I wouldn't suggest using glue stick. You need a stronger glue. But when you're stitching, then all this glue is really doing is holding it together until it gets to the sewing machine. Okay. Again, you can see, look, I've got my edge off. That's no problem. Okay, just lift it up. As I say, I know little bits are going off the camera, but I know also that you're all smart enough to work out what's happening in that tiny area that you can't see. Okay, fabric layer number 1. Now, this is going to be my outside. Now, you might think that's odd because obviously I've got Antonio's image here. Well, the reason this is going to be outside is because I want to put laces and things all underneath it, and I don't want to lose the beautiful delicacy of Antonio's image there. So this is going to be my inside lining. I am obviously going to do something else to it as well, but that will be my inside lining. So now I get to have fun, because what we're going to do now is we're going to start to build up this front. Now, if I'm only going to build up the front, then I obviously need to know exactly where the front and the back start and finish. So I am going to give myself an inch spine, and I'm going to do that by lining this up on my board and bringing this one all the way over to 1/2 inch short, like that, and give it a good press like that. Open it up and then bring this one over, line it up again, and bring this one over to 1/2 inch short. And by doing that, I'll show you in a second what you're doing, except our glues. But what you're doing there is you're creating, oh, that's not right, is it? Oh yeah, it is. There you go, look, can you see? You've got, look, you've got an inch spine now running down there. So that now tells me where my front is, okay? So, I've got that crease, I can work to that crease. I'm going to start with some of this dress. Now this is a dress, came from my local charity shop. I've got my fabric scissors and I'm going to ruthlessly trim all the way up this side seam. So put my fingers in and I'm just going to go all the way. Right, I say all the way. Oops, sorry, I've just smashed you in the head, haven't I? That is more than enough for what I want. So let's now cut this in a very rough rectangle like that. Right, so that's that one. We'll put that to one side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on this front half like that. I know it's got a seam, and I'm basically going to add some glue and I'm going to scrunch it all up so it's got rucks and tucks in it. You've seen me do this before, I'm sure. Okay. There we go. So it's all got, when we open it, like we move it over for our cover, look. Yeah? So that's good. And I'm going to keep going. So I've got this now white like neck curtain. Again, from the charity shop. Recycling wherever we can. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going all the way down. Might as well cut the whole piece off. And again, we've used that now so we can move that over there. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to bring it down a little bit so that we can obviously see this one behind. And this purple glue will obviously dry completely clear. And then I'm going to trim this off because we don't want it all hanging off the bottom. That's an extra piece there like that. And we're getting this real shabby, loved and treasured fabric idea going on now. And then I've got this old tablecloth, goes that way, there we go. So we could have maybe some of that. So let's chomp. Now those of you that have seen me work with fabrics and laces before will know that I don't really cut things in squares. I know I have the here, but this is because I'm building up a base. When I do things like this, I get broken hearted when I watch other crafters just chomp it square. For me, it doesn't work. It takes 2 seconds just to trim it a little bit more delicately, a little bit more interestingly than just chomping a square. I suppose that's where they say devil's in the detail, isn't it? Right. Sorry, am I being a bit picky today? And now I've got this rather nice big piece, so I'm just gonna lay that on there like that. Okay, so we've got all these different layers going on, and then I'm gonna have a look and see what else I've got over here. I've got this beautiful Broadell glaze, so what if we snip up this seam. This is a sleeve off the top, like from that same charity shop. Obviously not all purchased at the same time, but right, so we obviously want to get rid of that seam, so snip and tear. That'll give us a nice rough line. We can put that there like that. Now obviously I don't want to damage that bit, so I'm going to go there and tear. Like that. And then where's our tablecloth gone? Here it is. I'm just going to pop that across there like that. So we've got some amazing layers of fabric. Okay, now that obviously all needs to be stitched into place, so I'm going to leave you there. I've introduced you to the kit. Obviously details will be in the description box below. And next time you see this, it's going to be all stitched down, and we'll be looking for our centre topper to go on there, which will be obviously something that we pull out of the kit. So as always, I'd like to say a huge thank you for joining me. Antoniomakes.com, that's where you're going to get the kit that I'm going to be using all the way through this book. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.